On Monday, the Royal Courts in Belfast will hear an appeal to try and stop the British government enforcing an amnesty to all Northern Ireland Troubles-related cases prior to 1998.
Well, Dougie Beattie has this report.
The ability to get to the truth of what went on in Northern Ireland during the Troubles has eluded victims and their relatives. 60% of violence was through Republicans, with 30% down to Loyalists, and only 10% due to the state. And it's the state that keeps getting brought back. And now the government wants a blanket amnesty to put an end to this costly procedure. Johnny Mercer represents the veterans and says an amnesty is not the way forward.
No, I've never campaigned for an amnesty. I don't support an amnesty. And to be honest, I don't think an amnesty will be forthcoming because it's not lawful. I think you can never cut off pathways to justice where evidence exists. It's about fairness, right? It's about achieving that criminal standard of prosecution, which is what people keep trying to do over here, but has eluded every case so far.
Dr. William Matchett was ex-Special Branch and works with the CIA and briefs the Pentagon on policing after conflict, and says the reputation of the state is being openly discredited.
Police officers here who are dead, a lot of them who are maimed. I know a lot of them who survived and are now no longer with us. And the reputation of a very fine force is being dragged through the gutter. And it seems that nobody has been fit to stop that.
There is barely a street in Belfast that does not hold a history of violence, and most with no answers. The very spot that I stand upon now used to be a bus station. 50 years ago it was targeted by the IRA. It was a day now known as Bloody Friday. 22 bombs exploded across the city, the IRA blaming the security forces for not getting here quick enough. It maimed 131 people, killed 9. Amongst the dead were women and children. Backdoor deals in the 1998 agreement assured Republicans would not face trial, but made a hierarchy of victims. Tony Blair's Queen's Pardons of Mercy and Letters of Comfort effectively gave the IRA an amnesty. But he also ensured that their victims' relations would never get to the truth of what happened to their loved ones. To avoid awkward political explanations, other paths for victims were found, but do not have the same levels of evidential facts.
Yeah, I mean, look, the government has completely dropped the ball on this because it allows things like ombudsman's reports, which, look at a much lower threshold of evidence to then become a sort of factual recollection of the Troubles, which for everybody else who was actually there or involved in it, it clearly knows it's not the case.
Dr. Matchett believes that intelligence is being presented as evidence.
If intelligence was evidence, there wouldn't have been any bad guys left in the street. But intelligence, thankfully, isn't evidence. Neither is opinion, belief or supposition. And sadly, police ombudsman's reports are full of opinion and supposition. And I would say it's not even expert opinion the way you would get in a court from a forensic science officer or whatever. It's the opinion of a layperson.
With some of these historical inquiries costing the British taxpayers up to £200 million, most are agreed a clearer path to the truth must be found.
There's too many people getting rich off the back of it. The process is grotesquely unfair, and that's all I've ever asked for is fairness in this process. But, politicians both over here and in London have singularly failed to deal with legacy, and this is the end result.
Dougie Beattie, GB News, Belfast.